The 2016 Foot Locker National Championship. You know, Carrie, I just don't see a Claudia Lane type race here because there's just so many boys with so much speed. I think we're going to have everybody looking at each other, and I think we're seeing that right now. Look at that 10 across right there, and a lot of heads turning.
Yeah, bunching up, you can see that, and that's part of, you know, nobody wants that pressure. No one wants the lead. And that's what's fun about this sport. We've seen at the Olympic Games watching Matthew Centritz win that 1,500 meter in such a slow race, but total blazing fast last 400 meters. And you know, that's what happens in cross country as well sometimes.
I know Drew Hunter to push the pace here, but Seth Hirsch right there, he's got experience. He's very experienced. Been here before, run some great races, and the regional ran very well. He's been running very well for the last month.
Yep.
So the Nebraska state champ says, okay, I'll take it, and he's out well during that first quarter.
Well, lots of color from all the different regions there up front. And that really, I mean, if you're looking at a difference between the girls and the boys race right off the bat, this is it with that large grouping up front.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you know, it's only, we're less than 600 meters into the race, so it really isn't that big of a deal. But I think a lot of the guys didn't know what to do with their race strategy. I mean, they're thinking about, what am I going to do? But what else is everyone else going to do? Last year, they knew Drew was probably going to go out hard, so they kind of had to figure out that. But this year, a lot of question marks as who would take the lead, who is going to push the first mile, and so they have to be able to go on the fly and be able to change their strategy 2, 3, 4 times maybe throughout the race.
You know, Carrie, we talked about, you know, the inexperience of Claudia Lane, but in this race, you know, these boys have raced a lot across the country, have raced at big meets all over the place. So there is a lot of experience there. And Seth Hirsch, you know, our top returner, he's run very well in this race before. He knows this course well. He's run very well, likes to run from the front. He's got some great strength. Yeah. Not a lot of speed, but he's got great strength.
That's what I like about Seth, is his cross-country experience and how fast he is on the grass.
And we talked about, you know, who's going to impose their will on everybody else. So Seth Hirsch says, this is my strength, and he's taking us out. It's coming up now, which looks like we're just a little bit under 2:20 at the half, 2:19. So a fair first half, not screaming, but not too bad. Seth Hirsch right there. We see in that group everybody, though, right behind him. Reed Brown, Dylan Jacobs, Grahava in there. Everybody keeping close there. They're going to make the turns around the pool there. They make those sharp turns heading back to the start line area. But Seth Hirsch, that's our leader there, pushing that pace just a little bit. Those Midwest boys, just like the girls, they're going out well.
1 to 2 seconds. Basically the difference between all of these front runners.
You know, we have 5 boys on the South team that are from Texas, and a lot of that we were asking in the earlier days here leading up to the race if they were going to have their eyes on each other, and that has been something that they have found comfort in coming into the final race here, is knowing that they've been racing against each other all year long, and now they're going for this team championship as well. But, you know, interesting to see a bunch of red right there, and you're wondering, are they working together as a team?
You know, they have raced a lot. We asked them that. For the last 4 weeks, they have been in races together, and they're at a very high level, so they certainly know what to expect. Same with Hirsch here and Jacobs. This looks a lot like the regional. Hirsch took that regional out, and then Jacobs finished very strong over that last mile to come right up on him. So those two are very familiar. Reed Brown also from Texas moving up well there, and you see Worthy there keeping an eye on him also. So all those boys very familiar with each other. They have raced a lot. They know each other. They talk a lot. They're certainly on the internet looking at each other's races all the time. So no surprises here. We've got ourselves a good, strong race, and just the hills coming up.
I think if I've said it maybe every year, but if you spectators have not seen the hill besides just on the Jumbotron, you should go and take a look at it. It is something to be seen.
It's deceiving on the Jumbotron. It doesn't look like it's that bad because these guys are running so fast.
You know, it's an interesting hill because it's really steep for that first 120 meters or so, and then it kind of levels out, but then it just keeps going up and up and up, and all in that group. Hirsch and Jacobs there running very well. We see Merritt in there also. Gindel up in there also, Sam Worley, Connor Lane, Reed Brown, and here we go. Our first split of the mile, 4:46, so a healthy first mile. Again, not screaming, but certainly a fair first mile, and here we go. up the hill the first time. Hirsch, Jacobs right there on his shoulder, Brown, and then you see all the red there from the south. Worley and Mayer, the sophomore, right in there also. Boy, he has come on a long way this year. He has run very well. Grohalia, also from California, running very well, ran very easy in the regional. He is right where he wants to be, right in that group, but a little bit of a change in the lead here. Dylan Jacobs a little early on Hirsch there. And as we get to the top of the hill here, Jacobs our leader, Hirsch right there in second, Brown, Lane, Worthy, Jindy right there, Grijalva, that's our top 7. And the downhill.
What's he thinking right about there, Kerry? I mean, is he letting his mind just go, or is it very strategic in what he's thinking about?
You know, I think when you're, like I said, in the first lap, you're just trying to stay within yourself, not run too hard, not do anything miraculous, because you have a whole nother first lap to go. And especially the guys that are up in the lead, they got a lot of really good guys just sort of sitting behind them and watching every move that they make. So there's a lot of thinking going on when you're in the top 2, top 3. And that's one thing. One of the best piece of advice I've ever been given was don't think and just run. You know, turn your mind off a little bit and just try to run and run your strategy that you visualized.
You saw on that downhill, Reed Brown using that downhill. You know, downhill running is a skill just like any other athletic skill, and Reed Brown has got great speed and used that downhill, comfortably taking that lead. And then Sescher's coming right back on him. Jacobs coming up on his shoulder. Worley trying to move up well. It's that Gessner, the area is coming up. So we've got all the big players all moving up well, trying to get right up into that group there. Gessner has been running very well. And he is moving up. Oh my, we're setting ourselves up. Here we go. Worley right there also. Tibbs Proctor moving up. He ran a great move in the middle of the West region, took the lead. They were running similar style to this, and he made a big move right in the middle of that regional race to take that all the way to the finish. And Talon Hall had to unleash that big kick right at the end just to get him. But here we go, 1.5 miles in, and they look pretty comfortable, Kerry. Hirsch, Brown, Jacobs, Gessner, Worley, all right there.
A lot of the pre-race favorites that people have been talking about is Sam Worley. He's coming off of a great race last week, 2 weeks ago, and he's been all eyes on him, and he spoke very confidently about this race. He said he wanted this win, and he's in great position right now in 5th right now.
Yeah, nobody is out of it, and just moving up easily through that group. Noah Affolder, boy, he has been focused. He has said from last year, every day, every workout, he has been thinking about this race, and he is moving up now. He's following Tibbs Proctor's shoulder right there, and they are moving up together. All of our regional winners now coming up into view here. Everybody in there, and really, there's nobody out of it right now.
No.
Nobody.
Well, certainly if this is your kid out there, you know who you want to win. From just my perspective, this is fun to see a race where it's wide open at this point. I mean, a lot of us like to see it come down to the end, and we might see that today.
You know, you're right, Steve. You could have somebody in 10th or 11th right here. There's only, 10, 15 yards between all of those guys right there. And these are high-quality kids. I mean, these are, sub-4 10-minute milers, sub-9-minute 2-milers. These are guys with great speed. So any one of them, and who knows, they could be sitting right there, like I said, like Affolder, just moving up. Proctor moving up smoothly there in the blue of the West. He's now moved himself all the way up into 5th there. Worley right on his shoulder there. Gessner looks very comfortable in 3rd. Brown has looked very comfortable all through this race, and Hirsch is very comfortable out front. And the West and the blue starting to make a lead. Talon Hall had a great kick in the regional. He's moving up. Grijalva has finished very strong in races all year. He's sitting right there in about 8th or 9th also. So everybody in there. Here we coming up to the 2-mile mark. Gessner now moving into the lead. Finn Gessner trying to move up here as we head to the 2-mile.
Finn Gessner was very loose and very relaxed in his interview with me a couple days ago. He even said if he has a great race today, that would be awesome, but maybe even better would be to get a date with one of the girls that he mentioned from the girls' race. But I'm not going to mention her name.
I'm hoping he's not thinking about that right now.
Well, he said that was one of his main goals.
The advantage he had, he's rested here. He won the NXN regional race in his area, but he chose not to run there so he could rest up to run very well here. Now, Hirsch did run there last week, so did Brown. So Gessner does have a bit of advantage with that well-rested factor. And here they come around the turns again. Still there, 5 boys starting to separate a little bit here. Well, you can't afford to let too many people get away here.
No, I think this is where it's critical, where we talked about in the girls' race, where you have to see where you want to finish. You cannot let that out of sight now. It's going to be quick here. They come around, they hear the crowd here, you guys get them going, and it is the next time we see them will be when we see our national champion making his way to the finish line.
Gessner looks good there. There they go down that road. Tibbs Proctor right there. Affolter within striking distance. Also Worley in that group too. But here we go. We've got outstanding Dalton Hanks moving up. Findle in there. Suleiman, McLeod all in that top 10. Proctor moving up. He's now into third.
Slowly but surely, Tibbs is just eyeing those guys.
Gessner looks very good. Hirsch right there. Proctor, Reed, there they are.
Reed Brown is one of these athletes that is so focused on breaking the 4-minute mile that he already has 2 spots this spring that he wants to do that. So with his wheels, these guys better start thinking about running it out of him.
Oh my, here we go. Our group is now really 5 there. Connor Lane trying to be in that group also right there. Hirsch, Gessner, Proctor, Reed running very well. Lane trying to close that gap there. And they're starting to separate here. We have a little bit of a separation. Those 5, it's hard to believe. You could let one guy get 10 yards ahead, but you can't let 5. Boy, Proctor looks good there, right there in third, right on the shoulder. Hirsch has been our leader, either in the lead or in the lead pack from the beginning. Reed right on his shoulder. Lane right up there with him. Proctor and Gessner. We're going to come across the road here, and we'll hit the hill for the second time. We'll see if Reed has that great downhill that'll propel him on the way over that last half mile. Tibbs, he looks very strong here over the last mile races in the last couple months. Hirsch here trying to push it up that hill. Looks like Hirsch thinks this is the place to go.
So our top 2 returners from last year are in the lead here, you guys. 9th for Hirsch last year, 11th for Gessner last year.
Well, we say experience, right? Well,
Yep.
There they are, the first 4 right there. All raced here last year. Finn Gessner, though, he likes the hill. He's starting to push it during that first part. Gessner, Hirsch, Reed, Brown, and Proctor. Noah Affolter trying to close that gap in 6th. Viegra has moved up into 7th.
Well, we've already had more than 5, maybe 6, 7, 8 lead changes through this entire thing. Some of the same names, but they keep taking turns, it looks like.
Yeah, you make that move, you try to break somebody there and it doesn't break them, then you try to break them again and they still hang in there. After a while, mentally you start to think, well, maybe this guy's got more than I do, but here they are. They're going to go on that downhill. We'll see if Reed can use that speed again to get back up in it here. Gessner and Hirsch hit the downhill.
You know, this is now like kind of in the sport of gymnastics where you're getting ready for that dismount. And you can see how these guys are slowly but surely figuring out when is my move. And is it going to be someone in third here coming up here? Is
That's
it gonna
Reed
be,
Brown.
Is Reed Brown coming up? Yep. Is it going to be someone from behind like Tibbs coming up?
Reed Brown used that downhill both times to get that lead. Here we go. Less than a half mile to go and 3 boys side by side by side.
And we talked about Reed Brown's kick. He's got a 4:04 mile PR. Is he the guy that can finish faster than anybody? All these guys have such strengths out here.
We said, we talked with Hirsch. He said he can't run a quarter fast at about 59, but he can run it for a long way, so he's going to need it now. And he's going to make that move early. Gessner trying to hold him off. Tibbs trying to get back up in there. Brown on their shoulder. Just about a quarter mile to go. Gessner makes the turn in the lead. Hirsch and Brown trying to close. Finn Gessner, though, trying to open up. Hirsch makes a little look back. Can Reed Brown close? But Finn Gessner, he is moving now. Brown into second, and we are going to have ourselves a sprint to the finish. They passed the 3-mile mark. Gessner still leading, but here comes Reed Brown. The Texan moving up in the red of the South. Reed Brown, he has measured it perfectly.
Wow.
Over the top of the hill, looks back, but continues to pull away. Hirsch trying to close on Gessner. Talon Hall finishing very strong, has moved into fourth, but our national champion will be Reed Brown of Texas. Gessner, Hirsch, Talon Hall, a great finish. Affolter, Lane, Proctor. Mayer moves up very well. Wow, the sophomore from Texas with a great finish.
One of the best finishes we've seen in a while, guys.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about Reed Brown all day today, saying that he has that speed, and he came into this meet so focused. He's had a really good cross-country season, but he's a very fast guy, over 800 meters, it's a mile. He's done very well over 2 miles, but he's very focused, and he wants to do well, and he said he wanted the win, and congratulations. Way to go, Reed.
Reed Brown's official time, 15:02. Gessner, 15:05. Just outleans Hirsch there, 15:05. Talon Hall, great finish, 15:08. Mayer, boy, there's our next great runner there, 15:11. He gets fifth. Affolter, great race for him, 15:11. Tibbs, Proctor, 15:11 and seventh. That's a very fast time for seventh place, so great race. Reed Brown, there you go.
Another really good executed race. I mean, he wasn't the one that was pushing the whole time. He was just right there where he wanted to be, and he used what he knew he had. He has the leg turnover.
I thought Gessner had it. I thought when they made that turn, I thought this is a quarter-mile drive. I thought Reed he's going to let him go. He just can't. Boy, he had it right. He had it figured right. He looked like, I think when you get ready for the national championship, right there, when you get down there, I think you're really getting there.
Look at these guys. They just gave it their all.
Yeah, they did.
Well, it was interesting, Tim, because I think you mentioned that downhill running, that's a skill in itself, and we certainly saw that play out today. That was where he sort of made his run to catch up some time, and then just to have enough room there at the end to finish strong.
You know what's so great? Because he runs so well downhill and so comfortably down. Not only do he make up ground, he actually recovers a little bit. You know, those guys that lean back like that pound those legs coming down that hill, that's actually taking a lot out of him. So Reed Brown is picking up speed, picking up places, and getting ready for that finish. And boy, he just measured it well.
We were talking about what those guys were thinking about on that hill. Was someone coming from third place? And as I was saying, Reed Brown went right by. I was just saying in general, are the guys thinking about who's in third, who's in fourth? And they didn't have time to think about that because Reed just blew right by.
All three of those guys who finished in the top three at one point held the top position.
Yeah.
I mean, they just rotated around.
Everybody ran their race. Everybody did what they had to do to win. Seth had to get out well. He got out well. Gessner had to make a move in the middle, and Reed had to kick. And so everybody ran their race, so they have to be proud of themselves. Those boys out front, those ran great races, all three of them.
All right, well, it's time to hear from our winner, Reed Brown, downstairs with Emily.
Reed, fantastic race. That was amazing. Okay, you have to tell us about the downhills. You looked so smooth and so effortless coming down them. Like, was that your plan? Have you run a lot of downhills? You just look so smooth.
Actually, where we're from Texas, there's absolutely like no hills. I just kind of learned from last year being here, and just kind of let yourself go down the hill, even try to like push it down the hill, because if you lean back, that kind of slows you down the whole race. And so I just kind of learned from last year and tried to put it through in this race.
And sum it up in a few words. What does this title mean to you? How are you feeling right now?
Oh my God, this is unbelievable. I never really thought I would be up here. There's so many talented guys out there that I know and friends with, and it's just awesome to be here with them and then be able to get a title like this. It's just incredible.
Yeah, it was an amazing win, an amazing way to win too. So fantastic race. Congratulations. I'm going to send it up to the booth now.
You know, that Texas 6A state meet, that may have been the best cross-country meet in the country this year, because Reed was in that Worley mare. Yeah. You know, and we talk about experience. Those guys have been racing hard for 5 weeks here.
Yep.
And Reed Brown is the national champion.
And he drew on the experience from last year. Yeah. You heard him say, I remembered. It took a year, and I held on to that.
A lot of these guys went home, and gals, and visualized this race every day. If they've never been here, they've looked online, they've looked at the previous races. And, you know, that's what it takes. This is hard enough physically, but really we have to emphasize how hard it is mentally to visualize and to prepare your mind for a race like this. It doesn't just come from putting one foot in front of the other.
That's right.
It really comes from what's upstairs as well.
A really strong showing from those two teams from the Midwest and the South.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. Very impressive. Those. Well, I didn't get a chance to really look at the team thing as it went back. Where they Talon Hole finished strong with Proctor, so I don't know. Maybe West got in there a little bit.
Well, with the Midwest, Finn Gessner took the number 2 spot here in this race.
He's been showing his Midwest. Here we go.
Is he saying, feed me? Feed me. That's an
Show it
Ezekiel
again.
Elliott
Show it
reference
again.
right there.
There he is. There it is.
I'm with Finn Gessner here. Finn, great race. You looked really comfortable and controlled most of the race and finished strong. Tell me, do you think having experience, having run here in the past, played a big advantage for you?
Oh yeah, most definitely. I knew exactly how this race was, well, not exactly, but I had a good feeling about how it was going to play out. I ran my race and it happened to play out exactly like I thought it would. So I don't know. Honestly, I wasn't expecting second. I knew it was going to be top 3, but when we started the second lap, came through the 2 mile, I was like, oh baby, if I hold on to this, then I deserve a hug from someone. And then I actually held on, so I'm still waiting for my hug from someone.
Well, that's a great way to go out. Congratulations. I'm going to send it back to the booth.
Can I say one thing?
Yes.
All right, shout out to all my friends in Wisconsin. Shout out to the Wisconsin coaches. Shout out to my coach, Coach Nichols, Coach Hayden. They both came from Wisconsin to watch me. Shout out to my family, Mom, Dad, Saku, Eric, my uncle, my aunt, all of them that have helped me achieve my goals since I started running. Just shout out to all you guys. You guys are great.
You have one incredible support group from the sounds of it. So I'm going to send it back to you, Carrie.
Thanks, Emily.
Shouldn't be too hard to find a hug.
I think he was looking for a hug from Emily.
That's what I was thinking. Emily, hook the brother up.
And he also, did talk about that date. So maybe he'll get that. We'll see.
I hope Finn comes out of his shell eventually.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
He's a great kid. All these guys are such great kids.
Our awards ceremony is coming up, and we'd like to invite the girls' winners to head to the finish line because we want to get everyone together for that special part of the event here. Okay, we have now gotten the 3rd place boy that's down there with Emily, and that, of course, would be Seth Hirsch. Emily, take it away.
All right, I'm with Seth Hirsch here, and he's also one of the few returners to Foot Locker. So I want to ask, what is your favorite part of this course? You've run here a couple times now. Favorite part of running here?
Yeah, I really like coming back down through the finish, kind of the second loop when you get the momentum just from going down the steep hill and kind of takes you to the bottom of the hill over there. That's probably my favorite spot.
And what would you say is your favorite memory you think you'll have from Foot Locker, looking back on it in the future?
Just hanging with the guys, like all the time at the hotel, just chilling with our team, like the other teams. Like you see all these guys online and all the races that they're winning, and then when you just get to train with them and hang with them, it's pretty cool.
Oh, that's great. Thanks for coming back again this year and running so well. Congratulations. Back to you, Carrie.